Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Lindsay, for having me. I'm excited. Look what social media can do, right?
I know, we met on social media. For everybody
Yeah.
watching, Ibrahim is a celebrity stylist. He's worked with Nicki Minaj, Jada Pinkett Smith, Big Sean, and he manifested all of this, you know, and we're all about talking about people's law of attraction, success stories, and how you got there. So I cannot wait to share it. Like, it just goes to show anybody can make their dreams come true.
No, for sure, for sure. I completely agree. I think you got to believe it and just work at it. So
how did this start? How did you manifest this dream life?
So you know what's so funny? So like in college, I've always been told that I was special. It was like growing up, right? But I never really understood what that meant. So I was working for New York State Senate for 11 years and I got laid off. And I remember the day I got laid off, it was April the 6th. And a friend of mine, prior to me getting laid off, was like, hey, you know, you can literally walk into a room and talk to anyone. You know, she's a celebrity stylist. And she goes, hey, you want to be my personal assistant? So I got laid off. And I had been saying to myself, like, I need to move. I'm special. I need to be doing what I'm passionate about, you know? And I didn't even know what styling.
Did you say you didn't even know what styling was, or you didn't even do it?
I didn't even know it was styling. Like I had always been styling, but I wouldn't necessarily have called myself a stylist. But I always knew that because I'm African. The way I grew up is you keep a regular job and you keep your extracurricular activities on the side. And to me, the entertainment industry, that's what it was. It was an extracurricular activity. It was fun. It was entertaining. And yeah, I took a job with her and just started manifesting everything.
So that's so interesting to hear. Like, what I know is, first of all, how long ago was this when you were laid off from this job?
I was laid off from this job 3 years ago.
So this was 3 years ago, and now your life's completely turned around. And the first thing I noticed about what you're saying is so interesting is you always had a passion for styling, but the moment you changed your mindset, like you were kind of raised to think this is like a side passion. This is not something to be a job. So because that's how you viewed it, that's
exactly.
how you viewed it.
Exactly.
When you're put up against the wall and you're like, I'm laid off, what do I do with my life? Do I want to go back to doing a job I don't love? Or am I going to actually like do what I want to do?
And the crazy part about it is that, Lindsay, I had always, so on Facebook, right? Years ago, I had created this agency. And I went back when I moved to LA. I wrote that I created this agency in the bio. It said a creative agency where I curate content around food, entertainment, and fashion.
So you wrote that. Was this before you got laid off?
Yeah, this was way before I got laid off. This was back when I was college. You know how people would create those Facebook groups?
Yeah.
And you would, like, people like, hey, this is my side hustle, my side project I'm working on. Yeah.
And you wrote exactly
517 likes. I remember when I looked.
So how did you meet the stylist that all of a sudden was like, oh, I know you like doing this. Why don't you do it?
College. So, you know, I think a huge part of manifesting things is that you always have to remember that relationships are so important, because anything that you want to manifest, and I firmly believe in this, there is somebody in your phone book, if you was just to change your perspective, can help you make it happen.
I like that. That's so true. So did you contact her, or were you already like best friends hanging out?
No, we were already like best friends. We were already really cool. And she just knew that there was this light that I never even saw in myself. You know, it was, hey, come out here, do this. And yeah, and ever since then, I've just literally, like, even, it's so crazy. Let me tell you a perfect story. With the job with Jada Pinkett Smith, I literally manifested that job.
How'd you do that?
The Grammys was coming around, and I knew that I wasn't working with anyone at the time. So for the Jada Pinkett Smith job, there was a lead stylist, and then there was me. So I didn't have any client for the Grammys, and I literally sat in my house and I wrote down. So I write a lot. Everything that I manifest, I like to write. I wrote a list of 22 people. And Jada Pinkett Smith name was one of those individuals that I named. And I use this thing that I have, right? So I have this. Whenever like I'm manifesting and writing, like this is my thing to, just kind of like reset my mind, just put out my energy. And I really do believe that if you connect yourself to each and everything that you want to manifest, it literally will come to you. It's like magnet in some ways.
It really is, because we have energies. So you wrote it down, and then how did it come together too?
So I wrote it down, and when I wrote it down, I think it was like 4 or 5 days later, a friend of mine, remember I told you about relationship, she texted me and said, hey, Jada's working with this guy and he needs help. Do you think you want to jump on this project? And I was sitting, so I had a 2007 Toyota Corolla. I was on Rodeo Drive. So anybody who knows what Rodeo Drive looked like, so imagine my 2007 Toyota Corolla. I was coming from Prada doing a pull for another stylist when I got the call. And I just remember sitting in the car shaking like, no, this can't be happening right now.
And you wrote it down, and then just like a few days later, it manifested.
Yeah,
it
manifested.
You started working with her, and when you met her, and when you were there, what was that moment like?
And I think that was the first time in my life where I started to do research on what it means to be aligned, because I had kind of had such a rough start, going out on my own and stuff like that, and just being around her. She was just so zen. Like if there's a word I can describe it, it was just zen. Just so, how someone just speaks life to you, and just being there and just asking, like, I remember I just asked her, like, how is she so zen? And she just says, you got to just keep your energy clean. And I think that's when I started on my own, journey of just manifesting and also doing good and putting out good, and good is just going to come back to you.
It's so true. It's interesting that you specifically manifested Jada Pinkett Smith, because she's on that frequency. She is about, like, I want to put us in the world that she comes on my show, and I go on hers, because she's living on that frequency. And those who are living on that frequency, they know it when they see it, because it's just like this energy. So like, you knew you were going to attract someone in that wavelength because you can feel who's living in that energy. When they see me, when it happens, they're going to know because they're living there and I'm living.
Exactly. And it was just so warm, and I think that a lot of times we get, like, when I manifest things, right, I don't just expect it to happen the way I think. I allow for every possibility. And for me, that means staying alive, right? And what that means for me is every interaction, every connection. Whether it's at the supermarket, someone says hello to me, someone comments on, I like to wear flashy jewelry, I'm a stylist, I like to have conversations start. Whether someone says something like, oh, I like that, oh, you know what, actually, I'm a stylist. You never really and truly know how you can manifest things.
Yeah, you never know who you're talking to. You never know. You have to put it out there. Like, I used to be afraid to put out there what I wanted to be. And sometimes I still am afraid. But you know what? The more you say it, the more people know. And then one day, just like your friend, knew what you wanted to be. So when the opportunity came out, it could be tomorrow, it could be a year from now. But if you keep speaking about it, because you're speaking into existence, it's like a commercial. You're the first person that comes up in their mind, and then they call you, and you have to be willing to say, okay, I'm going to go do it when the opportunity arrives.
I'm getting like goosebumps as you're saying that, because I wholeheartedly believe in that.
So let's take it back to when you got laid off from your job. Oh, you cut out, or you said, okay. When you got laid off from your job, were you sad for a moment? Like, what did you feel like? So a lot of people, when they're manifesting, they don't realize there's like ups and downs, but there's like a mind process.
You know what's crazy? I was not actually sad. More so, I felt more so of a relief. But the funny thing is, I didn't know what that release, like, I felt like there was something taken off my shoulder, but I didn't know what it was. And now looking back on it, I think it was when it finally clicks to you, right? That there's a space that you want to force yourself into that's not meant for you. It's not aligned for you. So therefore, I think when you want to manifest things and you start talking about your dreams and things you want to do, the universe will literally shift you.
Yeah, it will flip you.
Exactly. if need be, to get you to, I think where you need to get. And I think for me is I've always been a creative. All of my friends, whenever they were going out, getting married, I'm the one that's always telling you what color look nice, what kind of shoes you need to wear, and literally, and the fact that literally my job on a daily basis is to wake up and make people feel good. Like, that's literally all I've ever yearned for.
So what does it feel like now, comparison to before, now that you're living in alignment with what you manifested?
So you ever heard people say that it's possible to live your dreams?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like my dreams is my reality right now. The good, the bad, the ugly, the days where I'm unsure whether a client is going to like something, the days when I'm not sure if I'm enough, the days when I know that I'm enough, all of those, like I'm literally living, like my dreams is my reality.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it makes sense. That's the point, is you want to live, when you're living in alignment, your dreams are your reality, even when there is bad. It's your dream and you're living your passion, so you're able to do what you're supposed to do.
For sure.
So after the whole Jada Pinkett Smith, because, once you manifest one thing, it's like you get one and then you exponentially grow. What did you see happen after that?
So, oh my God, can I jump on? I want to go ahead and book it and show you real quick.
Okay.
So after the Jada thing happened, I went and I bought a book because I would write stuff down in my notebook, right? Mm-hmm. So I bought a book, and you can see the book, and I'm just gonna read everything I wrote on the book. Okay?
Oh, I love that. You want me to cover
it says Eve's Book of Meditation and Manifestation, created 2017. And on here, I basically wrote, this book is very personal, very, very personal. This book is about love and compassion. If you find this book, please do not read it. Please return it back to me. And then I have my cell phone number listed on the book. But I literally write everything in here. I have clients' name in here that if I was to read to you, you'd be like, oh, whoa. But yeah, I'm literally manifesting my life.
So how do you write this? So if someone wants to manifest, because like you've literally wrote a book, you're writing the story of your life. How do you write this? Because some people do manifestation, like affirmations, just different ways. What's your technique of writing it?
I write in the first person point of view. I write, I want to style. I want to work with. I want to meet. I want to be in the presence of. I want to allow the energy to be in my energy. I think that's how I write all of my stuff. And Lindsay, I want to tell you another thing I just manifested recently, right?
Oh, tell us.
Tomorrow, I have a photo shoot.
Ooh.
So crazy during this quarantine. I kept saying to myself, I want to give my mom some money, right? My goal was to give my mother $500.
Mm-hmm.
I kept saying, I want to give my mom some cash. I have to give my mom some cash. Like, I haven't given her any money in a long time. A friend of mine who lives with someone who's in the entertainment industry introduced us before, right? So my friend texted me a couple of days ago and go, hey, such and such asked for your contact. You know me, going about my day during this quarantine. I'm all about self-care during this quarantine. And I get a text from this random number. It's like, hey, I have a project. I know that you're really good at styling. I'm on your Instagram. I'm looking. My budget is $500.
That's crazy. You got I just did a video about that, how I got $1,000 in a day. It's like you put it out there and you get it. It's just all of a sudden, you're like, literally. There it is.
And I have to shoot tomorrow.
So this just happened.
This just happened.
So when did you notice like the law of attraction going faster? Like, were you a manifester before you quit the job? Like, was there always like little things happening?
You know what? I wasn't. But what I started to see when I moved to LA, I feel like my aha moment happened when I moved to LA. For me, I felt like, so when I graduated from college, Lindsay, if you knew me back then, the only thing I spoke about was moving to LA.
Mm-hmm.
But then I spent 11 years, in New York because family was there, friends are there. But mind you, I kept saying this. That's why words are so important. I always tell people, words are so important because they inform the people around you and they inform God.
Mm-hmm.
And when you put your words out there, be very intentional what you say. And I always told people I'm meant to be Hollywood. I cannot wait. I want to come move to Hollywood and live under the Hollywood sign. Lindsay, I currently have a studio apartment under the Hollywood sign. If I show you my window,
Exactly what you said.
I'm literally living under the Hollywood sign. So, and when I moved to LA, I started watching a lot of self-help books, right? Because I said to myself, you know, if I want to work with these people and I want to work with the greats, I have to know how the greats became the great.
Mm-hmm.
So I started with Oprah. And let me say something.
That's where I
watch everything Oprah, and I just love just taking some of the things that she say and apply it to my life. And I just like to think from a place of abundance, and a place of abundance that you and I can both win. You and I can be peers, and you know, you're gonna get your client. I'm still gonna get mine, you know? And I think when you think like that, the universe, I don't know how to tell people, like I'm getting goosebumps as I talk about it. And I try to tell all of my friends, like, hey, try it. Just write it down, you know, write it down. Imagine the outcome, right? And then go back and work out the details. That's what I like to do.
That's
you know, and
I say in every video, it's like when you want to go on vacation, don't you imagine like, oh, I'm going to Hawaii. This is what Hawaii is like. Oh, let's like look up the hotel I want to stay at. Let's look up the excursions. You plan the whole trip and then you go and you do it. It's the same thing.
Yeah, for sure.
And
oh my God, I felt aligned in this moment.
Oh, good. That's the point of my show. Like, that's what I want everybody who's on my show. I want them to be realigned. It realigns me. It reminds me. And I hope it aligns people watching, because
no, for sure,
we don't always live in this state. And like, even like for you, where for 11 years you were in New York, sometimes things take a while to manifest, but you can't lose the focus. There's a reason where, like someone said in one of my interviews, it's like preparing you. Like if it's not happening yet, it's preparing for it.
And Lindsay, and not to cut you off, can I tell you something, Lindsay? Mm-hmm. When I tell you that is the God honest truth, because Lindsay, let me tell you something. Every job I had, right, since I graduated from college, Lindsay, currently as a small business owner, I started my own agency called the It's Agency, and under that I have my styling company. So as a consultant firm. And Lindsay, every aspect of my job, whether it was my customer service experience from Target, my administrative skills from when I worked with the Department of Education, my admin skills from other jobs, or my ability to write a PR letter, or my ability to communicate with high-end designers, you know, everything literally, like, I'm getting goosebumps right now because it's so true, because everything literally prepared me to be able to survive and live in what I'm living now. Mm-hmm. And then to make money off of doing what I like to do. I tell people how to dress all the time. Now I just get paid money to do it.
Exactly. So. I'm getting chills as you say this too, because, and I feel like when we say law of attraction or manifestation, I mean, obviously people come to my channel believe in it, but there's a lot of non-believers in it. And the way I like to explain it is, something I see across the board and everyone's successful is we know how to take a situation and make it work for us. Like you could say, oh, it took me 11 years, but you're just like, oh, it's taking me 11 years, but I'm going to be there anyways. Yep. It doesn't matter how long it takes, I'm going to do it.
And I say, Lindsay, it's all about perspective. Mm-hmm. I think whenever something happens or a situation happens to me, I like to take a step back and say, okay, why is this happening? And how can I change my perspective so that this situation can be different. And crazy to say, when you start on this process of manifesting and healing and thinking in abundance, you will lose people. Mm-hmm. You will realize that there are just certain environments that you no longer feel the need to even want to be in. Certain conversations you just don't want to entertain. And it's so crazy how, like, my group of friends that I talk to now, we're just in this alignment. We're literally manifesting things. And it's not perfect, you know, but just always staying in that frequency is what I like to call it. I think it's so important. And knowing when your frequency is off is also very important.
Yeah, you need to know both ways. And the thing I think as I evolve in this, it's crazy and crazier, which is something I've learned from the people I surround myself with, is when there's a negative situation, you can make it work in your favor. Like right now, for example, it's the coronavirus. one of my, like, I'm naturally a reporter, but I also have my own business. So I want to manifest doing both. And I produce like 2 events a year. I can't do the events right now. We have all these amazing brands on board. And instead of worrying about losing the money, I'm just thinking, okay, like, let's get them on board for the new date. And if they don't want to do that, how else can they invest in me? Like, I'm not even
But
thinking
Lindsay,
it's
it's so crazy. It's so crazy that you said that. So as a small business owner, right? Literally, I was about to be doing some major event. Lindsay, everything got canceled. And so I'm sitting at home. I'm like, wait, what? Like, what's supposed to happen? Let me go get an admin job. You know, I have a master's degree in public administration. If you didn't know, so it's like, let me, so now I'm thinking, right? Because it's all about taking your perspective. Lindsay, literally, I started doing research. I'm like, I'm a small business owner. I pay my taxes. Why am I not applying for a small business loan or grant? You know, and doing all these other things. There's so many resources, I think, that are, available to us if you were to just literally change your perspective and just start asking, questioning, and speaking.
You have to try. You can't take no for an answer. You have to
answer, yes.
Okay, this answer is no. Let's make it a yes. Like, maybe you can't invest in my event, but maybe you can invest in me and my show. Or I want to be like a millennial Oprah. For you, like, you can always, like, its energy is not destroyed. It's always like regenerating. So how do we regenerate it to make it work for us? And that's when you start owning the law of attraction. Now you're creating the energy. You're receiving it and you're letting it out. But
so I don't know if you know anything about numbers. So I think 7 is a number of completion. So I always say I need 7 no's in order for me to believe that it's a no. And sometimes even then I still don't believe it.
I don't believe in it. It's no. Someone tells me yes. That's how I see it. Unless it's only no if I decide that I don't want to do this anymore and I want to change. Otherwise, there's no, except for when you stop yourself. So we only have a few minutes left. What's like the biggest thing you want people to know so that they can be inspired, or something that you learned?
I think the biggest thing I want people to know from my story is that it's possible. And I want to tell that to everybody that feel like they're an underdog in any situation, anybody that feel like they're an underdog in life, anybody that feel like, we are all special. And that's actually the title of my autobiography. I've actually started writing that. And I think that, and I just want everybody to know that you're special if you dig deep, if you dig deep and heal. I think, I'm in the process of just healing from a lot of my traumas, a lot of the perspectives that I grew up thinking that this was the world. It's actually not. Just learn just how to shift my life. I just want people to know that anything is possible, literally. I am walking into rooms and having conversations with people that I grew up watching on television, people that I listen to their music on a daily basis. And Lindsay, they think I'm enough.
Exactly, and that's the same thing. That happened to me. The same thing. I walked into a room with everybody I saw on TV. Like, Backstreet Boys was my first concert, and then I was interviewing the Backstreet Boys, and they think I'm enough too. It's like, it's only you that holds you. That's like, I'm so inspired.
Yeah, me too. No, I'm so inspired by you, and thank you so much for what you do. Because, it's so funny because, I told all of my friends that I'm doing this because they hear me talk about it so much. And I have been saying to them, like, I want to be on a show. Like, lately, Lindsay, I've been asked to be on so many television shows. It's crazy. But I've always said no because I just feel like, I'm not ready for the world to see that side of me. But this side of me, I love for the world to just know that, it's so, like, yeah, I wanted to do a show exactly like what you're doing. I'm just so happy that I came across you and what you are doing. I'm going to tune in for every episode. So,
thank you.
Excited for what you are doing.
Because I posted in a Facebook group looking for people with these stories, and I was sitting down being like, I want to take my show to the next level. I want to attract these people. And that goes to show that we're on the same frequency. Just like whoever's watching, like, you're on the same frequency as we are. Like, there are no coincidences. Like, we are all coming together for a greater purpose.
For sure. And and I'm going to predict this on this show. Okay?
Okay.
I think Lindsay and I are going to eventually work together soon. I have this really good feeling.
I work with a lot of celebrity things too, so I can't wait. I have that.
Yeah, I know. I can't wait to see you on the carpet. If you see me, I'm on the floor trying to fix something. Just wave.
We'll do a story. Maybe you'll be styling me for my Oprah show one day, walking down the carpet.
And Lindsay, I'm just gonna pass out the day I meet her, right?
Oh yeah, I met her once. She was on my vision board, and I got to talk to her for like a minute. But
Wow.
maybe we'll all come together and work together. That's the goal.
For sure. I'm so excited, Lindsay. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you for allowing me to come on your platform, and whatever I can do on my platform to help you, help your business, let me know as well. So
Thank you. Same to you. And can you let everybody know where they can find you? And I'll also link it below.
for sure. So I'm on Instagram as IBBS_K. You can find me on there. Follow me. I follow back. I'm very interactive on my Instagram. You'll for sure see me post a lot of self-help, motivational things, you know, apart from, you know, just the styling that I'm doing. So
If
I'm
you
on
want to be
Instagram.
inspired, just looking at him will remind you to go for your dreams. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to me. Don't forget to subscribe to Ibrahim. Also, I have a new YouTube channel, Dose of Bliss, where I'm going to start putting these interviews on in the next few months. Right now, it's on my YouTube channel. So please go and support and follow that, because we're going to make a big motivational movement. And thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time for your next Dose of Bliss. Bye.
Peace.